Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going? What?
He wants to do the voice so badly, but it probably doesn't translate to microphone well enough.
You know what? Whoever's on the other side of this, hearing this, and he would do that voice, they'd probably melt in their seat.
Some ungodly voice.
It's like, what is this? Why am I listening to this?
It's like when Sam does that. When Val does that voice that really freaks out Sam, where she sounds like an old man. Have you heard that?
I think
No.
I think she's
great.
done it once. Like while I was around.
Sounds so good.
All right,
sounds
Ben,
funny.
just do it. Go ahead. You know you want to.
What are you talking about, Todd?
Do the voice. Do the voice.
The voice.
Come
Todd.
on. Because this is
Say hello and welcome to the NPC party. And
Oh shit, that's a long
intro.
one. Okay. Hello and welcome to the NPC party. This is the new intro. I actually want to know how that sounds. Todd, your soul is forfeit.
You hear about it like an hour and a half.
Your soul belongs to me, Todd.
All right, calm down.
Did you pick up on that?
Yes, I heard it.
Flogger bloggers and
We
whatnot.
are back with this is Game and Dine episode 2, technically,
Well, yes.
or what? Because
What do you mean, or what?
Well,
we didn't
why
fuck
did
it
we
up.
fuck it up?
You know, nobody
It was
fucked it
episode
up.
1.
It was just we didn't have a lot to talk about. Oh no, because we just talked about the Switch
yeah.
for a long time.
It was episode 1, and we debuted on the Switch, which is alright.
Yes.
Which, I think there's still an episode of steaming reviews to be posted, and then this, because we did do steaming reviews last
Yes,
week.
but the thing is, I forgot. No. I didn't. No, it's in the upload that we did today.
Oh, so you put it in the upload.
Yeah, I forgot that we were doing the. Don't worry
Well,
about
I
it.
thought those were two separate audio files.
They were.
So you just put
He
mashed
wacky
them-
glued
Oh
them together.
no. There's an intermission,
Okay.
and then there's that, and then it ends.
Lots of Gorilla
We're
Glue was
doing-
used.
Look, I know, but I was still in that mentality of all of it
It's
together.
just- okay.
You get
You
some
gotta
wacky
get used
glue.
to it.
You
Well,
get a
this
nice pair of
time-
snippers.
This time
you cut it.
it'll be done separately. Yes, don't
This
worry.
time-
Cut the
it'll
other
be its
piece.
own show.
You get the
Yes.
wacky glue and you put it directly on the piece where you want it to continue on.
Speaking of new show, this is what was formerly the shit show. We're now calling this The Leftovers.
I forgot what it was called.
Because
For
we
shame,
are
Todd.
food-based,
shame.
and we are a food and gaming-based podcast,
Right.
and with different food and gaming-based shows.
Speaking of food,
I'm hungry.
the one I want coffee. The one thing that we didn't discuss last week was how bomb those nachos that we had were.
Well, I mean, this is a topic for The Leftovers.
This is a topic
This
for
is
leftovers.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
And how we're not
this-
going to make
this-
food.
So,
did make food
so
this week.
for those confused, I'll break us down real
We can
quick.
make food tomorrow.
I work.
So The Leftovers is the shit show where we talk about whatever the hell we want, and
'Cause
we will
fuck you.
probably, this is a very informal sort of for us podcast where we just discuss it, and it's probably going to have a lot of, what we did in the week and what games we're looking forward to.
Vulgarities.
And, yes, a bunch of vulgarities.
Crime.
The best way I can explain is you ever shoot the shit with a bunch of friends? That's just what we're doing.
Just with microphones.
Come on in, take a seat.
It's all
You
the
can
stuff
listen.
that we don't want to put in the main podcast, basically.
Yeah.
And so this is going to have a lot of, behind the scenes insider stuff on the NPC party,
Yeah.
which is,
Our thing.
Yeah.
The thing that we do.
The thing that we do.
And that's Capello that was just talking this entire time.
Hello. I am Capello.
And that's Ben over there. Hi, Ben.
I'm over here, yes.
He's yawning because he's hungry and
No, I was
sleepy.
breathing in.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm a mouth breather every now and then.
and I'm Todd, one of your 3 hosts.
Yes.
So those nachos, where
Those were some bum-ass nachos.
first of all, I actually don't think they were nachos anymore after they came out. I think there was that was basically a nacho cake.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like lasagna.
There are some things I'd like to modify on it. like maybe putting a
Meat.
salsa in it
And
to
meat.
make the things a bit softer because they
were
come out
crunchy.
rock solid. Yeah,
I cracked my tooth.
I can
Yeah.
definitely
and some meat.
And
yeah,
some meat.
I can definitely see like a nice like tomato-based salsa with some chile morron or
God. That
yeah,
sounds incredible.
and
Probably between the two layers, not at the bottom.
yeah, just between the layers, and then are we actually it might be no yeah between the layers
With a little bit of beans, just a little bit of beans, and then some.
not a fan of beans, but
Fucking blasphemy.
definitely with meat.
Blasphemy. I'll burn them at the stake.
I'm kind of on his side with that.
You are both
Like
performing heresy. I will burn you.
mostly because the type of beans that you put on nachos are refried beans.
Right.
And I hate the texture of refried beans. It's just like the taste and the
Mush.
texture together. It's
The fact
like
that it's mush?
It's grainy mush, and like the taste and the texture together.
I mean, we could use
Not a
different
fan.
beans.
Like okay, well if we were to use like black pinto beans,
I'd be down for that.
I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
As long as there's not like refried,
Yeah.
because I like your parents make the most bombest ass fucking beans a la charra that I've ever tasted.
Yeah, they're fucking good. I should probably hop on learning how to make them because
That's fucking delicious.
That'll probably be relevant for this too.
it's going to become a lost art at one point.
To be fair, like they're mostly bacon.
But that's what makes them
But
so
that's
good.
what makes them so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really delicious. I'm sure you've had them at
Yeah,
least once.
I have.
The funniest thing I remember was at one point you came over to my house with Mikey and you guys had food, and I forgot what food you guys had, and then you stare at a pot and you go, "Are those frijoles a la charra?" I go, "Yup." And then you give your plate to Mike and go, "Here, I'm getting beans."
Getting that instead.
Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, and then Mike just stared at at the two plates that you gave him. And we're like, "Fuck." I think I want beans too.
It was probably like us bringing back cons or something. I was like, here.
I don't remember, but
It's kind of hard to refuse too.
Yeah, I mean, I love cons. I can almost never finish my damn plate.
Oh, I
but,
finish it
you
every
know. I like not finishing my plate of
leftovers.
cons because later I get more
cold
cons.
cons,
More cons.
cold
Or-
con.
Cold cons.
Cuddle con. Anyway,
I miss the days, real quick, that Mikey would obsessively binge on $1.50 burgers from McDonald's. He doesn't do that anymore, does he?
No, he doesn't. His
'cause they
his
give
insides
him-
can't take any more of that.
they gave him really nasty, smelly farts that are
Oh
toxic.
my god, they're gonna show up in next season of Stranger Things. That's how bad they were.
Possibly.
They're sentient. They choke people.
It's like that fog monster from Lost. It was Mikey's smelly McDonald's
The smoke
farts.
monster.
It was fused with the whatever special sauce they have because he would request a little side tin of extra sauce. And don't get me wrong, that shit's delicious. Good God, does it kill your insides?
Yeah, this is true.
It's
not good for you.
Terrible. It is just the worst.
So I
You know, now that I think of it, we should make our own sauce, like the NPC sauce.
We would have to like really think about.
Yeah,
what
What?
goes in it
I'm hungry.
We'd
would
have
be spicy. Also,
making
don't know
me
if it'd be
hungry,
spicy.
Ben. You stop.
it would have to be
Yeah.
spicy, which unfortunately excludes Mikey. But that's
Well,
fine.
you know what? We can make our NPC hot sauce and our NPC flavor sauce.
Our Mike sauce.
Mike sauce.
We'll call it the Mike sauce.
The
The
Mike
NPC
sauce.
Mike sauce.
NPC Mike sauce.
Yeah.
So we can sell it both ways: a picture of Mike on the front and a picture of a Mike.
Of a
Mike,
Mike.
yeah.
Or Mike being a Mike.
Yeah. Mike as a Mike.
Mike as a Mike. Jesus Christ, what is this? Why?
Oh, fuck it.
I mean,
why
this
does this
is
happen?
This
It's
is
not
the
bad, it's
leftovers,
just-
all right. It doesn't matter how we get.
get what
to-
you get.
Yeah.
It's
like-
what's
Okay.
left over.
I have a quick leftover topic then. And this
Okay.
is kind of writing off what we talked about last week.
The violent torture of animals.
No, what? No!
no,
it's
what's
terrible.
going on?
I don't
Yeah.
remember that topic.
The Switch.
Uh-huh.
What do you guys think about it now after a week of that presentation?
That's real neat stuff. I can wait.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm still gonna try and get it at
you can.
launch. I'm like almost like 90% certain that I'll be able to get it like at least close to launch. Well, if I am able to hop on it immediately, because if I don't, I'm gonna have to wait
a while anyways. Because
Yeah.
it'll
at the very least, I can pre-order it on Amazon, and then when they get the second shipment, I'll get one. But yeah, like there's like I do want it because there are games that I want for it, and you know, a lot of people complain about, you know, a bunch of third-party titles that they've already played. Well, I haven't played most of those.
Sure,
games, so,
I totally get that.
yeah, I think it's neat. I still want it.
All people who play games that are gamers they're in a very different scenario going into whether they're going to buy a Switch or not, and you know, and their circumstances are going to dictate whether they're going to buy one or not. I'm still on the waiting. I'll probably go to Sam's the day after it comes out to check out Zelda, because he's going to buy it for sure. So that's about it. Yeah. Okay, I was just wondering because you've had a little bit of time to really stop and think about it and see how the world's reacting to it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, negative connotations to like how weak its launch is. And, you know,
quite a bit, yeah.
But like,
which I don't think are unwarranted, unfortunately.
Yeah. What's really unfortunate though is that everybody like that all the cynics, right? You know, and they're a dime a dozen. You know, there are plenty of cynics. Like they're all saying how, this is such a big fuck up, and you know, they're like, this is the word, this is like they learn nothing, and you know, like Nintendo is gonna go down into a spiral of death and destruction and fire, and I'm just sitting here like, the damn thing hasn't even come out yet. Like, you don't, like, how can you, like, sure, there's a small trend, but like, they're a smart company. Like, they don't want to make the exact same mistakes that they've done.
Are you referring to how one person was claiming that Nintendo killed his whole family?
Yeah, this unfortunately stems from watching is it Game Over, Greggy?
Yes.
So Colin Moriarty acts like Nintendo stuffed his aunt into a guinea pig suit and then lifted her into the air and then humiliated her by pelting her with marshmallows.
So what show was this on? Was it on the Gamer Greggy show, or was this on his own show?
It was his own thing now. It was Game Over Greggy, but it was in the morning, like the morning.
Cast Colin Greg Live.
Yeah, that was that one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think I told you last time, I kind of stepped away from watching them because I got really tired of hearing fucking Greg Miller's voice. Yeah. Sorry, Greg Miller, you're cool. I just got tired of hearing your voice.
I like forgetting about them, and I like forgetting about them again. Too.
Mm-hmm.
Just, but they're good to run into every now.
Colin Moriarty has his own show now. Like, it's a very small, like, video series called Colin Was Right. And I think in a more recent one he talks about the Nintendo Switch and how he's not very happy about it. You know,
he has a lot of good points.
He's very smart. He's very smart, and he understands the industry. But I think he also approaches it the way I approach it, which is from a very cynical manner.
Not only that, but like, it's very certain that he's approaching this as a person who eats, breathes, and sleeps video games. Like, he has to own everything new that comes out. Yeah. So there's no reason for him personally to
hold back.
To get the Switch, because he has most of that stuff already, right? Mm-hmm, yeah. And you know, he's approaching it in that perspective. Like, he has to. It's his job. Yeah, he has to own everything that comes out, because that's what he does, right? Yeah. And he is the top 1% of video gamers.
Yes, yeah.
So he's approaching it. I can clearly see that's the perspective that he has. Mm-hmm. He's talking in the mindset of the gamers who buy everything. Yeah. Yes, or own everything. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, that's the top 1% of gaming.
It is.
So
it's YouTube influencers. It's people in the press. You know, it's the person who just has a lot of disposable income. Mm-hmm. That and just buys everything for shits and giggles.
That's not to say that, because the Switch has many faults, you know, right? You know, it's it has its caveats. It has its
unfortunately
its
has a lot of
backsides, yeah. And it's, you know, but that being said, it's still a cool system that people are going to want eventually. Yeah. And like, Nintendo is keep going on about, like, you know, we want to dedicate ourselves to the Switch and make things right for that we didn't do right with the Wii U.
All eggs in the basket.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to look at it in a more optimistic perspective.
That's understandable.
The launch lineup is weak, but there's a lot to look forward to. Hopefully. Well, there still is quite a bit to look forward to from what they've announced. Like, there's a new Fire Emblem coming.
Yes, which
year.
I saw the actual Fire Emblem because I had a hissy fit. I'm not gonna lie over Warriors.
Todd,
it make that.
I told you so, Todd.
I know. I just didn't.
Warriors makes a lot more sense in Fire Emblem than it does in
Zelda. Yes, but I feel like it just waters down what Fire Emblem is.
No, but that's the new line now. They're just gonna slap Warriors onto it.
It's not like, don't think of it like, because it's not gonna be a main title.
Real quick, what if the next Metroid game is
Mario
Warriors?
People
are gonna be
so
Warriors?
fucking pissed.
That's gonna.
That would piss people off.
Especially after Federation Force. But yeah, like, that's the thing though. Like, it's an off title, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's still like tactics. The main branch tactics games are still alive and good.
That's also coming to 3DS.
Still happening.
Yes, there's a new one for 3DS.
Which, real quick, that just tells me that the 3DS isn't going away.
No, they actually came out and said no, that the 3DS isn't going anywhere.
But it's very clear that for the next couple months, we're not going to see it in stores because of their hardware. Their manufacturing is focusing on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. So it's just, there's probably going to be more 3DS games throughout the year. It's just that they're really focusing on the Switch right now.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, like,
I'm curious to see if there's going to be like little mess ups where you accidentally got two left Joy-Cons.
Oh, I'm sure.
That'll happen.
I'm sure it'll happen. There's always manufacturing. The thing is that it becomes rarer and rarer, so there probably won't be that many. Mm-hmm. But hopefully
Wait, what if there's a package kind of like that Samus amiibo where it came with two blasters, but it's gonna come with two switches?
Two switches. You don't report that.
No,
you just keep them.
Just keep it as a backup that you will probably need at some point.
Well, depending on how well you take care of your technology.
This is true.
Like we've had this argument before.
We have.
It's a tablet. It really depends on how well you take care of your tablets.
And if you take it with you everywhere.
Yeah. Like my HP tablet that I have is like 7 years old now.
Wow.
It still runs fantastic for me. Like, I've taken care of that thing completely. And it doesn't fuck up on me in battery life. It hasn't,
It does what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It does what it's meant to do.
Yeah, it's done me right for 7 years. Like, that's the care that I want to take care of the Switch with. So
on my phone, the S3 that I have specifically just for music, I fucked up the battery on it and I bought a new battery. But from there, it hasn't given me a single damn problem.
I've had
damn good.
I've had this S3. This is not my original S3. This one I've had it for about since early 2014. So, and then I switched over to the S6. But yeah, I've had it for a long time, and I recently switched over to music because you had a good idea. Like, hey, use that as your music player so your battery doesn't go down on your regular phone. It works just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, battery is how well you take care of your stuff is very important.
Right. I think, well, the entire point is that I'm tired of, I got a little annoyed continuously hearing about how Nintendo took Colin's dog out to the back of the shed and then beat it severely and then fed it to a bunch of bees.
It's part of his personality too.
Well,
it's
I think it's like he's been burnt by Nintendo.
Oh, of course.
And like he wants to like Nintendo, but Nintendo keeps hurting him. Why Nintendo?
The last time I heard them, from all the time I've been hearing them, he always considers himself the lapsed Nintendo fan, and I'm kind of in the same boat, just not as egregious as him.
Yeah, I mean, there's I've also talked about Nintendo's Lost Children before, because people love Nintendo.
That's a great Miyazaki movie, Nintendo's
Lost Children. I mean, it's like 100 years into the future when Nintendo is owned by Sony.
Oh, jeez.
And like Mario is just like a decrepit thing, and it's like Wreck-It Ralph, but like more morbid.
Wow.
Oh no, Mario still exists. He's just like now. He's just
He's got a big ass instead of
and he's all blue, blue and black.
He's all blue, neon blue,
blue and black.
Neon blue and black. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just I understand like where he's coming from. And it's just that he's taking it so personally that it feels like Nintendo like harmed his family.
Right.
I understand being a cynic, but like when you yourself want to be wrong about your own opinions, there is a light at the end of the tunnel that you can look towards.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of opportunity for the Switch. There's a lot of things to look forward to in the Switch. You know, I don't have the opinion that it's going to fail because I don't want it to fail.
I don't want it to fail either, Capello. But my concern, and because I feel like it's been a trend with their more recent platforms, is longevity and third-party support. You know, that's what concerns me as somebody who hasn't owned a proper Nintendo console, paid with their own money since the N64. Literally.
They do tend to think on the short term, unless it's for the 3DS. And I'm guessing at this point that thing is immortal.
2012 since that thing came out, I think 2012.
Yeah.
Or 11.
Maybe a little sooner, maybe 2010.
One of those.
But yeah, like since the dawn of the DS has been the longest term thing that Nintendo has ever come up with. Exactly. For good reason, right? And hopefully, like, I'm hoping that the Switch finds that sort of success because it's a cool device. I want to see games on it.
Yeah, and if it does, it just makes the gaming landscape a lot more. It makes it a lot better.
Yeah, there's something that I've heard about people not being attached to gaming companies. Like, you know how there are a lot of fanboys, yeah, and who will defend something to the death, and like a lot of the argument is, you know, don't be one of those people.
Yeah, don't be. Yeah.
Companies are out for
they're
themselves.
Not your friends.
They're not your friends.
No matter how nice they are to you, they're not your friends.
Right. But then there's people. Those same people have arguments towards game developers because, you know, game developers are like, they have a more humanistic aspect than an entire company does. But the thing with Nintendo is that they're not only a company, but they are also developers.
Yeah, they're the publisher, they're the manufacturer, they're everything. Yeah.
Like, if you are not vested in Nintendo's success, then you're not vested in any of their games to succeed. Yeah. You know, and that's like, nobody wants to see the end of Mario. Like,
no,
it's been done for a million years.
Plus,
but
it's also been very clear that if Nintendo were to go away, that would be very bad for the industry, and it would be a huge concern. Mm-hmm. You know,
I understand being cynical, right? But there's a point where your cynicism hurts the opinion of others, and, you know. It's like a lot of people at the start of SF5, you know, they were like, oh, well, this isn't a complete game, and it's like not, you know, it doesn't have a lot, and, you know, it's not worth it. And, you know, months later, like almost a year later, it now has everything, but the damage that everybody who criticized it so harshly at first was done.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants SF5 for $60 now. You know, unfortunately, because it's worth $60 now. Well, maybe not 60, maybe like 40, but it's still worth like a good decent chunk of money, right?
If you're a fighting game fan,
yeah. Like, and people
3-frame chain links.
Yeah, that's something to talk about later. But like everybody, I saw people who love fighting games say that, you know, wait, right? You know, it's not finished right now, but it's going to be worth the price later. And those guys were who I wish frontlined all of Street Fighter and its criticism, because they had the optimism to foresee that it was going to be a complete game in the future. And, you know, because the optimism, or the optimists were all muted by all of the cynics.
Yeah, they're a lot.
It hurt. A lot louder. Yeah, it hurt Street Fighter V sales immensely, and that's what I fear. That's honestly what I fear about the Switch. Like, all of the cynics are going to drown out all of the optimists, and then nobody's going to want to buy it.
I think that right now, obviously for the initial batch, sold out. Mm-hmm. So that's a success in itself.
Yeah.
But 2 million worldwide is not enough, I think, to warrant a full success of a console for a company that's been around for a very long time. 2 million sounds very small. you know, in terms of the entire console landscape. So what I'll be curious to see if batch 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of pre-orders get filled in completely, or they start to waver. That's what that's what I'm looking to see.
Well, let's put on our imaginary fucking company hat.
Okay,
and
right here.
Let's pretend, like, how would you attempt to fix this?
I'd go back in time and make that presentation something that's viewable. One.
Yeah.
Explain everything. Talk about power consumption, talk about how much memories, and explain Nintendo Network fully, why the changes are being made, and how much it's going to cost you at some point. And by God, I would have put in 1-2 Switch as a pack-in game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for that. I don't think anyone is going to realistically, aside from people in the press, or people who need to, buy it. I don't think anyone's going to want that. I could be wrong. I'll find out next week if that's something that they're going to show off at PAX. But that's what I would do. I would have changed the messaging on this thing completely. And the messaging itself is a huge problem, Capello. It's not just... I think a lot of the cynicism comes from the messaging being poor. I think that's how it starts, and then they start to dissect it. Kind of like how we did last week.
Mm-hmm. It is really... It really does stem from the fact that the Switch event was supposed to be gigantic.
Yeah.
Like, when they first did the commercial for the Switch in October.
Like, okay,
it was
right.
like
Received positively.
Interesting,
yeah, this is really cool. Like, this could be potentially something great. It wasn't great that they weren't releasing information, but the actual device itself was very, very promising.
It looked slick.
And then when
Memes.
the time came to deliver,
yeah,
they didn't deliver.
No.
Like, it was very underwhelming.
Super inconsistent, I think.
Yeah.
And something that I think is really interesting is that I wish they would have. I know it was a Japanese event, but I wish Reggie could have been at the forefront of most of the presentation, because he's got a fire.
Yeah,
and then when he talks about Nintendo, he is the pitch man.
Yeah,
he is the perfect pitch man.
The current president, forgive me for forgetting his name.
I don't remember his name either.
I don't remember his name, but he doesn't have, like, you can very tell, like, he's an old
corporate
Japanese corporate man.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's
what the company needs to run.
Yeah, before Iwata, that's what the company was. You know,
and you know what? I think that real quick, I think the Iwata kind of broke the boundaries of what the kind of like stereotypical Japanese executive would do.
Yeah.
You know,
Iwata was the most excellent front man that Nintendo has ever had.
Yeah.
Like, him and Reggie, they were powerhouses. They made you excited for Nintendo, despite, the failings of the Wii U. Despite, like, any caveats that Nintendo has or is suffering from.
The directs were a joy to watch.
Yeah, they made things vastly entertaining. And that was one of the best strengths. Like, you always look forward to seeing Iwata, present something new.
Yeah.
And right now, Reggie is the powerhouse frontman. Like, he should be.
He was a little suppressed, though, for this presentation. Understandably so, because it was just Japanese. It was in Japan. I think like I said, I think that you were talking about, hey, put on your corporate cap on. I would have done 2 separate events. Running at a reasonable time for people in Japan, so people in Japan can watch it, because it's a Japanese company, of course. And then at a normal time, usually in the morning is better, because most of the directs are usually in the morning, right? Somewhere between 10 and like 1 p.m. I think that the next day they should have just run a Nintendo Direct specifically for North America and South America, right, or whatever, and have Reggie front and center.
Yeah.
And explaining this thing, because the what I didn't see from him here is how he was on Fallon, talking about how when he originally showed off, what was it, Zelda and Super Mario Run. He also was he was there, he was in it, he was into it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Japanese business presentation should have been the private business
closed doors
event,
right?
And then
like
you have a traditional Nintendo Direct where it's Reggie talking to you.
Yeah.
That I think that would have been they could have spun it a lot better, I feel.
And I think that I think they also presumed that the Treehouse stuff was going to fill in the blanks, and it did, but not everyone is going to stick around for the Treehouse, because the Treehouse is like a 5-hour, that was like a 5-hour stream. So not everyone's going to stick around for that. Everyone wants to get that information in an hour, quick, and they can move on with the rest of their day. That's how you deliver that stuff.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that well. at all. I'm sorry.
It's an unfortunate like chain of dominoes, right? Like the presentation wasn't spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
The games at launch are really weak. There's been weaker launches.
And just to be clear, when you say that, it doesn't mean that we're saying Zelda sucks. It's just that Zelda doesn't make up for a launch lineup.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It's like,
at least for me.
Zelda, you know what? Zelda is popular. It will sell systems,
and I'm pretty sure it'll be great.
And it'll probably be really great. But it's not. It's not your it's not your quarterback.
No, it's not.
Mario would have been the quarterback, which leads me to the thing that I would have changed. I would have just left the Switch for fall of this year
for Mario.
For just have Mario and
the 1-2 punch, Mario, Zelda.
Yeah, I mean it really feels, and I've heard this from multiple people, that it really feels like the Switch launch was rushed because of Zelda. Like, I feel like people who would have bought it on the Wii U would have cut the prices would have cut in half the people who would have bought it on the Switch, which means that Nintendo makes less money overall.
I'll agree with you on that. And that's essentially the one thing I would have done, move it for the release of Mario, have Mario and Zelda, because even like you guys said, Zelda isn't for everyone.
It's not.
And even for me, like, it's not the console seller for me. Mario would have been the console seller for me. And again, from what I've heard, apparently that Nintendo thing is an application for your phone.
Yeah.
It's not for the Switch.
The voice, like talking.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that.
Making parties and doing things like that.
I don't know if that's forward thinking or backwards thinking.
Why the fuck would I pay for that when Curse is completely fucking free?
I think it's because they're trying to marry with Apple. I honestly think that they're really trying to get into the mobile, and so they're
mobile market.
Yeah, like
I don't like that kind of integration with Nintendo.
That app should be on the Switch.
Yeah,
100%.
Also, there aren't any. Not that this might be important for somebody who doesn't want to play Zelda. Netflix and like HBO Go and these things are not going to be on the system, which is not a huge deal.
Not initially,
but it's just.
They said that it's possible. Well, they probably will integrate them later.
Well,
the reason why they don't, like they've
it just seems like a standard for everything now.
How good of a connection do you need to run Netflix? Because
you don't. I mean, you can run it off Chrome. You can run it off Chromecast.
You can do it off of a phone. Like
yeah,
4G
but
that too. Oh, you mean like an internet connection?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the type of device that has to play, because you can do it on your phone.
Because, well, the Switch is of course a hybrid. It could be here if it was set. I wouldn't mind if the toaster product connection was it was a giant memory card and it held other applications you can run when you have it in console mode or something.
Right.
I would have liked that.
See, like that's the thing that would have increased the price.
Yeah.
And they a lot of the reasoning
for everything
why we're not getting a charging dock controller. Why the toaster doesn't do extra stuff?
Was their goal?
Because they wanted it at a cost efficient price that so that they didn't have to take a loss.
Yeah,
right.
And from that perspective, I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But sell.
Yeah. Now
your Switch at a loss and supposed to be in that fucking package. You agree with me. But yeah, continue.
And I mean. I unfortunately, and this is something that I foresee as a negative in the future, is that there will be an advanced toaster, and it will upscale to 1080p, and it will have an extra memory slot.
I don't know if
it will cost an extra $100.
I don't know if that's something that Nintendo's going to trend towards, like the rest of the market, because they're very good at doing the complete opposite.
But here's the thing. You got to realize they're getting into mobile.
Okay, yeah, that's forward thinking.
That's something.
Or catching up.
That's something that like Nintendo did not want to do. Mm-hmm. Like they said that games should be dedicated on a system, and then unfortunately, the president of Nintendo passes away.
Things change.
Yeah,
everything's gonna change.
So I like the fact that they're trying to nickel and dime you on controllers already.
Yeah, that's horrible.
On the controllers, on the charging dock, on the
accessories in general.
The accessories,
They're gonna charge you for the network, which you don't know anything about yet.
I'm almost 100% certain that at some point there's going to be an upscaler toaster, and it's going to run it's going to run your games better. You'll get 1080p Zelda,
and
1080p
games
yes,
for
and
it.
yes.
I'm willing to bet it's not just the toaster,
I don't
man.
think the toaster will have exclusive games.
This is the thing. I just remembered the new 3DS.
Yeah, it's going to be the jump from 3DS to new 3DS.
And there were some games you could only play on that new 3DS.
Only on
There was one.
Which was? Monster Hunter?
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay.
That's it. They made one game. But the thing is that the new 3DS didn't take as hard as they thought they would.
No, it didn't.
But it's the same. I mean, they've done it with their portable systems: DS, DS Lite, DS XL.
They've never done it with home consoles.
It's still way more people own a regular 3DS than a new 3DS.
This is true.
So they will not make exclusive games for it. They'll just do the PS4 Pro thing and they'll upscale.
It'll run better on this system.
It'll run better.
How soon do you think that's going to happen? A year from now? A year from launch?
Likely a year from launch.
Okay.
Before they revamp.
I almost foresee it in like a psychic way. Like there's going to be an upgraded toaster, and it's going to have its own memory, and you're going to be able to run more apps on it, and blah blah blah, and
Right.
It's almost an inevitability.
For $100 more?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I see it like as another $100 that you can spend. It's
Better battery life.
Well, maybe.
Well, no.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it'll be a whole new Switch. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. I don't know if it's a whole new Switch.
It could be a thinner Switch.
So they don't need
but
to make
how
it
thin?
thinner.
But how thin do you need that? It's a tablet.
Like I don't think
it could be a new
I don't think the actual
display
Switch is going to get like a hard upgrade, at least not for a while. I think it's just going to be the toaster. Yeah. I think the docking station is going to, like, they're going to put a graphics thing in there, and they're going to put a memory slot, and they're going to, it's going to upscale to 1080p 60. That's what it
will have Mario.
I can see that happening. It will have Mario.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mario.
That's something something almost shady that I see Nintendo doing in the future.
I hope that the system has longevity.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that there's stuff worth playing on it, aside from the launch stuff and aside from Mario Odyssey. Because, for me, because of previous consoles, I need to see what Nintendo looks like a year from now. Mm-hmm. That, for me, I need to see what they look like a year from now. Because, $300 for some people is not a lot. This is common sense. And for some people, it's a lot. It is a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure that the investment is worth my time and my money. And I think that's a fair thing to say.
I'm optimistic that it will eventually. I like I said, I really hope that the cynics don't just fuck Nintendo over the way that they kind of like to do with every other game that, that isn't the best at start.
Right. Yeah. Did you see Total Biscuit's 45-minute analysis?
I actually didn't see Total Biscuit.
I saw some of it. He was, I think, more optimistic than usual, but he made a lot of very fair points that are very negative points, specifically about the memory. He talked about how, it is great that it's micro SD and that it's cheap, but it doesn't necessarily bode well for performance.
So he actually redacted that.
Oh, did he?
And because he got his information wrong. And
whoa, that never happens.
Yeah, and he
did he demonetize his video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see, that's a good YouTuber right there.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's a great...
TB's,
TB's on the spot.
If there's any cynic that I will listen to and
TB.
believe, it'll be Total Biscuit.
Because he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. But yeah, like there's no, without a doubt, there's bad stuff. There's some negatives for the Wii. It's not strong start, but hopefully
you said the Wii again.
Wii, the Switch. I've probably been doing that this entire talk.
I'll listen to this and I'll tell. You know what? I will take count. And I will tell you how many times.
There'll be a Wii counter on the
bottom corner.
The Switch. There's
the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Switch is going to have its negatives.
Yeah. I guess to round this out, every console has pros and cons.
Right.
Unfortunately, some sometimes pros outweigh the cons. Sometimes cons outweigh the pros.
Right.
But vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think it's cool and you can afford it,
Then do
it's
it.
probably going to be worth it. Like the Wii U. The Wii U is worth it eventually, right? It's worth it now. It has some great games on it.
I still think that thing needs a hard price drop. It still hasn't been price drop, and that's just
does
atrocious.
It does need a price drop. But
$150. It's a discontinued console. $150.
There's some great shit on that
absolutely.
Wii U.
For $150, shit. For $150, I'd go pick it up and play Breath of the Wild. That is just me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this shooting the shit turned into Zelda talk.
Yeah, this is
another
Nintendo talk.
This became a more Switch talk.
To be fair,
episode 2.
I mean, this
is the aftermath.
This is the aftermath.
The second wave.
People are still
After an earthquake, we get what?
After an earthquake?
Yeah, after an earthquake, there's what is it?
The Aftershock?
Aftershock, yeah.
This is the aftershock of its release.
But I think this Aftershock is going to continue on until after release as well. Especially after release.
Well, it's gonna. People will keep, bitching and whining.
Bitching and whining. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's transition from the doom and gloom of the Switch over to anything else. I want to talk about what we've been doing lately.
Sure, we can talk about that for a little bit. Let me start. We'll go this way.
Okay.
So I finished Dishonored. Did I say that last week?
No.
I said that I was playing it.
Yeah, you said you were playing it.
So I finally finished it, and I was not happy with the way that game ended.
Really?
I did not like the way the game ended. I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say that in the first game, your actions and how you approach the missions, whether it be non-lethal or lethal, or high chaos or low chaos, affected the way the game ended. Like, not just in the artificial kind of like, oh, everything is great and happy and everything. No, like, it affects how the entire narrative and characters in that last level, like what they do, how they
behave.
react. Yeah, and their actions. Which I don't want to spoil either, in case you haven't played any of the Dishonored games. It's worth seeing how that game ends, because it's fantastic. This game, it feels like it doesn't take any of that and just puts it into puts it into a final like counter at the end.
But
I'm just disappointed.
Does it feel like it flows with the story? Like,
so the narrative, when it comes to the antagonist stuff, it's interesting, but it's not as strong as the first game. I think that the gameplay and the aesthetic of the game and the art style and everything is at its strongest. It's incredible. The story is a bit lacking. I am invested in the characters though, because I liked them so much in the first game, so I kind of stuck with it. But it felt kind of flat at the end. For me, it did what Uncharted 4 did to me, which was like fantastic everything all the way through, and then at the end I was like, could have been better. But that doesn't take away from the journey. It's an incredible game, well made, and I started my second playthrough as Corvo, and it's so interesting because I find myself playing the game in a completely different way because of his power set. With the newest update, they made it so you can mold both of their powers, which I decided not to do because I thought I want to play Corvo as Corvo with his powers, the one that the outsider gives him, not Emily, because to see the differences. Because if I just grabbed her powers, I'd be playing the same game again. And so that has been interesting because they have very different powers. You think that they would be just like an offshoot of what the previous power is. Like, say, for example, Emily has, wow, I forgot what it's called. It's not Blink.
Shadow form or Shadow Walker.
She has like it's like
Whip.
Blink, but but instead of her like teleporting, it's like this shadow thing that takes
Shadow
her
Claw
there.
Whip.
Yeah, basically. And so there were more advantages to having that than Blink, because with Blink, you don't necessarily climb things. You just like teleport from one place to another. So you know where you're gonna be, but you don't know if you're, for example, with Emily's, it tells you like, okay, you're actually gonna land here, right? At point A. And with Blink, it's like, you're gonna land somewhere here. You're not gonna land exactly where you want. So it makes things a little more difficult. But, it's a great game. I don't remember the last time I played through a game immediately after playing through it, the first time. Might have been Doom, actually. I don't remember. But yeah. That's all I've been playing, and I've been playing Hearthstone, which we'll talk about a little later. But that's about it. I haven't had a lot of time, to be honest.
I'm currently watching Jesse Cox play through Dishonored 2.
How's he playing? Who's he playing with?
He's playing as Corvo.
Okay.
Yeah. So, one thing that I will say is that I really feel like they're trying to make the narrative linear. Like not linear, but they're trying to
It's more controlled.
Yeah, like they're trying to make it go in a certain direction. Like all of Corvo's actions from the last game are solidified no matter if what you played personally.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that, like the narrative is going in the direction that they want it as compared to like an alternate, maybe this happens, maybe that happens.
Yeah. And I think that another game that does that is XCOM. So XCOM 2 starts, or the whole thing about XCOM 2 is like, oh, you lost the war, regardless of whether you actually won the war in the first game, you see? And for XCOM, the narrative is not super important, but I understand what you mean by that.
Right, yeah. Which, like, it isn't a bad thing. Trying to...
it's not terrible.
Yeah.
But the narrative could have flowed a little better.
Right. It's definitely a lot more fun when your actions have more weight.
Exactly.
Which is why everybody complained about Mass Effect 3 at the end, you know. Like, your actions are of no consequence throughout the entire game. So, that upset people considering in the last game, your actions
the first two games, your actions were
very consequential.
Yeah. So you been playing much this week then? Or recent days?
As for myself, like, I've been mulling over things to play lately, but for for Christmas, Ben had gotten me a game called Freedom Wars for the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had played that for quite a bit. I was enjoying it until the AI all became shits and they failed missions constantly for me, and I got annoyed. But yeah, that game was fairly fun.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a Monster Hunter-esque game
for PlayStation, since they don't have one technically.
Yeah, now they have several, except that they're not supporting them.
Yeah, that's weird.
The other games that are similar are Soul Eater, God Eater,
Soul
Sacrifice. Yeah, which I love the shit out of
I
Soul
really
Sacrifice.
like that game a lot.
Soul Sacrifice.
Boy.
That was the first of its type that I had ever played in my life.
I had so much fun with Soul Sacrifice.
Music, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Ideal concept.
The story, fantastic.
Super good.
Gameplay is great.
The
Delta fixed the
stories
problem
behind all the characters. So good.
Yeah. Delta fixed the problem that it had where it didn't have enough enemies, and now there are a ton of enemies.
Right.
So, yeah. So I am looking forward to eventually picking up Tokiden Kiwami, which is it's pretty interesting. It's like an Oni based Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I've seen
Japanese.
some footage of it.
Yeah. God Eater has always looked pretty cool to me, and God Eater 2 is supposed to be out on the Vita right now, maybe?
I think it's out now.
Yeah,
Tokiden 2?
So. No,
God Eater 2.
God Eater 2, yes.
It's
On Vita and PS4.
And PS4, yeah. It's also on PS4.
And don't think I'm missing any other one. It was God Eater, Soul Sacrifice, Tokiden Kiwami, and Freedom Wars. Out of the four of them, I was almost certain that Freedom Wars wouldn't catch my interest as much, but it's fun, Like I said, when the AI aren't being complete assholes. The thing is that it's a third-person shooter, so I'm not super invested into.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
The controls feel a little.
It's also on the Vita.
There's a little bit of jank in it, almost.
I mean, Soul Sacrifice is on the Vita, and that's fantastic.
That thing feels amazing.
It's also not a shooter.
Yeah, it's also not a shooter.
You shoot projectiles, but it's not a
traditional shooter.
That's a third-person shooter. It just has melee weapons, which I didn't like any of the goddamn melee weapons in that game.
The melee weapons in Soul Sacrifice feel goddamn amazing.
Oh, they're so good. Yeah.
And then when you mix them correctly, even better.
Even better. So yeah, that's one of the main titles that I've been playing since Christmas.
Cool.
Trying to think of what else. I've been mulling around
trying to figure out what to play
trying
next.
to figure out what to play.
What's your next investment?
I already know what it is. Which
it's the dank
it
thing.
is the dankest of
the
souls.
dankest of thing.
Oh, you're gonna start playing Dark Souls now?
The original. the Prepare to Die edition. My brother had it on his account. So I started real hard, and I'm like, I'm going to play one of these games eventually.
I mean, yeah, right. After being invested in the lore and everything for so long.
Like,
yeah, that's totally fair.
I started on Bloodborne. I started on 3, but like,
never finished them.
Like, I don't own them.
Yeah.
So I can't.
You can't play them.
I can't play them consistently. This one I can.
Yeah.
So
might as well.
I might as well start at the beginning,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, it's a good way to also get into your backlog a little bit.
Yeah. So that's going to be the most likely thing that I will play.
Play next.
But other than that, I've been doing what I usually do, which is consuming my gaming media through other people. Vicariously, yeah.
Let's plays.
What about you, Ben? What have you been playing lately?
For this week, shit, man, I've spread myself thin.
Oh yeah.
So there was like a touch of Street Fighter, a touch of what else? Final Fantasy. Some Diablo was in there. Some Heroes of the Storm.
A little bit of everything.
Some Mario Kart.
With your nephew.
Yeah. So it's been spread real thin.
Encompassing.
Let's go back to the beginning. And so on Street Fighter, I decided to try to learn a character called Balrog. He's a boxer.
Okay, Balrog the boxer.
Yeah, and specifically, he is a charge type of character. Do you understand charge?
I mean, the basic concept, sure.
So the idea behind it is you hold a directional button, usually back or downward, and then you fling the game stick or the D-pad upward or forward, respectively, and press an input, and you'll do an attack instead of doing a Hadouken, which you remember how to do that. You do it like that. You charge by holding back and then fling forward, and you do an attack.
Yeah, it's a charge.
I have never played charge characters.
Never. So has it been a challenge, or
it's thrown me completely upside down.
Bet.
Yeah,
it goes opposite of what your playstyle.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
Like it's something that like I just don't have.
Didn't agree
a
with
knack
you before.
Right? Yeah. And
do you think you'll stick with it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stick with it.
Okay.
And the other problem is, like how you form combos in Street Fighter is so weird because I'm so used to the quote unquote revolver action of Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear, which is there's a universal safe movement to make a combo. You know, usually it's punch, kick, slash, heavy slash. That's how you move. And for characters, let's pretend it's a kick, close slash, long distance slash, heavy slash, and you finish it off with an input. That's simple enough, and that's easily 4 or 5 hit combo depending on your last input. Street Fighter, on the other hand, and this is what throws me up so hard, is you can like jumping heavy into standing heavy into crouching medium and then charge forward. That fucks with me so hard because like my head is yelling, no, that's not how shit works.
That's not how it works.
But that's how shit works in this game.
Right.
And not just that, like you need to learn I guess you could say the frames of the attacks to know when you can link what move with what move. And so like it's slightly frustrating when you jump in it but like that's how it is with anything. You have to learn.
You gotta stick with it.
You gotta learn how to walk before you can run. You can't do a 15-hit combo just because you have Shit, that fucked me up. You can't do a 15-hit combo just because you've played other fighting games. You gotta learn how this game runs. You know.
Not all fighting games are fun. Most of them are not actually fundamentally the same. There are some similarities.
There are similarities. There are universal
at the basic
inputs.
level. At the basic level,
fundamentally they're the same. It's just that they don't play the same. Like there will be a difference from one fighting game to another.
The best way I can explain it is you played Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue is super fast.
Super fast.
And then you take a notch down and you go into Guilty Gear, which is a little bit slower.
Fast, but
and then you take another notch down and you have Street Fighter.
Yeah, or Mortal Kombat. Which are
it's slow. No, I feel Mortal Kombat is fast.
It's faster
MK
than Street Fighter.
is faster, definitely faster
Yeah.
than Street Fighter.
Street Fighter feels slower, but
And-
every button needs to be calculated
Yeah.
and within the right, time frame. That's why there are 3-frame link combos in that you have 3 frames of animation to press the button to go into your next attack.
Right.
And that's what's messing me up pretty much right now.
I got you. Well, I mean, if anything, that definitely. I mean, it's not like I didn't know this stuff already, but like, it definitely tells you so much that fighting games are absolutely skill based.
Yes.
Even though you've been playing said fighter for the longest time, playing a new character, changing styles will definitely require you to kind of go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. I mean, and this is a thing. Like, there are, like, the professional players, at most, they know, like, 2-3 characters really well.
But they succeeded at, like, that's their thing. They never play anyone else.
Like, you could go around, like, there are people who, like, I play this person. This is the only person I play.
I can't play anyone else.
I play such and such, and this is the only way I know how to play.
Yeah, but they're probably, like, the best at that character.
Because they learn the character inside and
that
out.
makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. And I imagine seeing Overwatch being the same thing in a year from now, where someone like there are pro players like I only play this character or something like that, or like us, or like maybe like 2 or 3 characters, because you do have to revolve from character to character at times, right?
It is
a lot harder to do it there, I guess.
Yeah, I think in the case of Overwatch,
well, you're supposed to. You're supposed to constantly be switching
you're
characters
supposed to learn
counter the enemy party.
They're not so refined as, say, a fighting game character is.
I just meant like in terms of the different characters.
Yeah.
You gotta learn.
Yeah,
you gotta learn. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's very a lot of the problems that you have is because you're going from what like our favorite,
Team Blue.
Team Blue, yeah, Blaze Blue, which is the fastest. Like the only one that
God, yeah,
the only
is so fast.
The only one that comes even close or probably around the same is Skullgirls.
Okay, which I never
those are the
Oh man, you gotta try Skullgirls. Skullgirls is so damn
great,
fun.
but it's fast. That one is
also
fast.
like a 2D-esque fighter.
Yeah, it's a 2D fighter. You can choose to play with 3 characters.
Or
You can switch between them.
Oh, it's kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
Marvel vs. Capcom 3
also very fast.
Also being
I don't know why I
very,
forgot that game.
fairly
like,
fast.
Those 3 games take like 1, 2, 3 in terms of speed.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're the fastest.
What's the slowest fighter then, Cabello?
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, is it even slower than Dead or Alive? Because I think Dead or Alive is really clunky and slow.
They're
Also, I don't remember the last time.
Dead or
I
Alive
feel like Dead or
being-
Alive is like a notch up from
Really?
from
In terms of speed.
In terms of speed.
Okay, I get that.
Like then after that it's Tekken, right? It's
yeah.
the slowest are
Forget about
Tekken, DOA, Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
But it's basically because when you're playing Street Fighter, you're playing a game of chess, right?
Right.
Your placement is everything.
Like Street Fighter is chess.
Right.
Blaze Blue.
It's like swashbuckling.
Blaze Blue is like
Adrenaline-based action.
It's like airsoft
fighting
or
scenes.
paintballing.
No,
you know?
it's Neo versus Agent Smith. That's fucking fast.
It's stupid fast.
And the last thing I'm gonna ask. So on the speed level, where's Masters of Terrascasi?
Masters of Terrascasi is in the garbage fire where it belongs.
It's not been rated because no one wants to rate
No one
it.
wants to play it. Oh my god.
Oh, I mean Max did for Fighting History.
I should probably watch that. I'm very curious.
It's pretty great. Yeah, it's he's done 2 episodes, I believe.
I think so.
They're pretty good.
Cool.
He's
I'll probably check that
improving
out.
with each one, and they're not bad.
Cool. Anything else, Ben?
For Street Fighter, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Next would be Mario Kart. And what can I say other than Mario Kart is still fun?
Yeah, it's always gonna be fun.
I'm playing with my nephew, and my nephew, like, he gets the concept, right? You're in a car, you're racing, but he kind of dazes off, and he'll just turn and start going against traffic, and he'll play. He'll see something and catch his attention. He wants to play with it.
Does he understand how the items work? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
He understands bullet bill makes you fast.
Okay,
He understands a mushroom will make you fast.
Yeah.
He understands a shell. If he understands getting hit by a shell means someone threw it, and he's gonna stare at me and say, "I threw it," when it wasn't me. Mm-hmm. But like he understands, things are happening.
He gets it. Yeah. Okay.
And that's fun. I mean,
that's never not gonna be fun.
Yeah. From there, I was staring real hard at Bloodborne again. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. That's a game I keep staring at and going
you're just attracted to the aesthetic of it.
I wish so hard that Bloodborne was on PC because
it's never gonna happen.
I know it's not.
Maybe
I really wish
now.
it was. Well, maybe.
Who knows?
But like that, out of all of the Souls games, the one that I want to play the most is Bloodborne.
Yeah,
because it has the aesthetic that is it's
most attractive.
Most attractive.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
It's great.
Yeah, it's self-explanatory. We've talked about that before, but yeah, I totally agree with you.
So damn good. Yeah. And after staring at Bloodborne for like a solid 3 hours, I went
for 3 hours. Wow, that's dangerous.
I need to go and play Final Fantasy, and so I continued.
Oh, that's right.
And I ran into a boss, and I'm still liking the story. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
It's
stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And I got to a boss, and the game froze on me.
Oh no! I didn't save your progress for a little
bit. And it didn't save my progress, and it sent me back. And I was like,
just didn't feel like going back to it.
You can wait just a bit. I can take 5.
Yeah. I got you.
And from there, my cousin Lalo and Israel wanted to play a game together.
Heroes of the Storm.
Diablo.
Oh, Diablo.
Diablo 3 is what we decided on.
Eddie doesn't play Heroes of the Storm.
He will. He will
really?
play Heroes of the Storm.
With us,
I didn't know that.
We've gotten him to play. He has a level 7 character, which takes some grind.
Okay, interesting.
No, wait, he didn't. He took it higher. He got the 3rd color, which is what, 12?
Oh, he's almost master with. In fact, I think he is master with.
Karazim?
Karazim, yeah.
Karazim, yeah, because he has the Yang skin, the 3rd skin. And from Diablo, we have Heroes of the Storm, which I've been playing, and it's still fun. That game is still interesting. And again, that's a game that I would only play with at least one other person.
Right.
And I've been playing it with Capello.
That's good.
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Recently, before you got to my house, we were
playing it literally.
Yeah, we were playing it. And we were doing some stupid, nasty bullshit where we were playing as 2 assassins, and we were just kind of,
hey, what you together?
Yeah,
just destroying.
Hey, what you doing there? Drag you in. Burst.
You.
We just burst damage.
Yeah,
which was fun.
Very cool.
Real fun. So Todd.
Todd went first.
I already went, but you know what? It gave me time.
Shit.
This is giving me time to meditate a little bit and realize that I actually haven't been doing a lot of gaming for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Let me ask you this: aside from what you've been playing, what have you been watching / listening?
I have been watching The Americans. I'm still watching that. I just finished season 3 a couple days ago. I binged the shit out of that season, and I need to watch season 4 as soon as possible, but I'll probably wait till I come back from PAX. Or maybe take it with me on the road and watch it, but I think I'd rather just wait. I want to watch that on my TV. I don't want to watch that on my phone. That's the extent that's all I've been watching. As for listening, I've actually been listening to a lot of different stuff lately, including, I think I mentioned to you at your place earlier, that I was listening to the Childish Gambino album, which I don't remember the name of.
Awaken My Love.
Yeah. And I am not a person who's into R&B or...
But this R&B.
It's the beat.
Yeah.
The beats and the sound of the
music. And they do it right.
They do. I'm also not huge into funk. I just like the way this funk sounds.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised to find that I found a liking to it. And so I'll be listening to a lot more, or to try to find something similar to that, because I know his previous stuff is basically rap, which this is not my thing. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised to how much I like that stuff.
Good.
Yeah. But what I have noticed, and it's probably a good place to end with this, is that in the past couple weeks I actually haven't been doing a lot of gaming, and to be fair, I have been busy. More busy than I expected to be, still. But I've actually been doing a lot of tinkering with video and picture stuff, taking a lot of tutorials and messing around with all kinds of editors, because when I go to PAX, I want to take some, I want to do a vlog kind of thing, but a legit vlog to the best of my abilities, considering that I'm just using a camera phone. But also, don't underestimate a newer camera phone, because those things are pretty dope now. So I've been kind of just messing around with that, and that way I'll know what to do when I edit them, you know? So I'm just really excited to do that, more than anything, actually, about going on this trip.
Tinker with
and to make something with it. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I've been concentrating on doing that, and I've been paying attention, like YouTube wise, I've been paying more attention to tech stuff than I have before. The closest thing I've come to tech before is just Linus Tech Tips, but that doesn't encompass like everything. And so there's a lot of other great channels that you know talk about phones and all kinds of stuff. So I've been paying more attention to that lately. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yep. Tech is pretty great.
Tech is pretty great and expensive. I think we talked about this last time, or maybe I talked about this with Sam. But man, tech makes gaming look cheap.
Oh yeah.
Because tech, and to be fair, gaming is tech, but tech encompassing everything from TVs to watches.
Oh yeah.
It's so expensive, ridiculous.
I don't know if we were talking about it personally or on this podcast, because because it came up a conversation about how tech is expensive.
Oh yeah.
And then somehow we got to watches, because you
said that you like the most.
I really like watches, right?
But you like the most expensive.
I like the most expensive ones. It's not even things like Rolex, right? Like, I don't care about brand. I don't care about
whatever looks attractive to you, and then you see the price tag.
Yes, exactly. Right. It's just I see the most fantastical watches that like have the position of every planet, and every planet is like a really colorful little marble of the color of the planet, and like it tells the time, and it gives you the position of the sun, and it gives you the position of the moon, and like it looks so fucking cool. And then I see
$35,000.
It's those watches that I really like.
Right, yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, tech is expensive, but there's a reason why it's expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, we should move on. Next time you'll see us, we'll be doing steaming reviews.
Yep.
And we'll be back.